So, worship leading. I've been doing this about 22 years. The whole thing. Leading worship, um, singing background for artists in and out of the church, session singing in studios, arranging, BGVs. I've led worship from the front and I've followed behind a lot of worship leaders. So I have a lot of experience doing this. Over my time of leading worship, I've come to find out that there are two different types of worship leaders. They usually fall into one of two categories: your methodical worship leaders and your musical worship leaders. Both effective, both integral, neither better than the other. As a matter of fact, the way I view it, both of them are on opposite ends of the spectrum. So your methodical worship leader are those who lead with structure, systems, intentional planning. We're going to do this part 6 times and we're going to, come out of that. We're going to do the next part 9 times. We're going to stay in the vamp and then we're going to go back to the top. And they plan every moment out. And, Rick, you're going to speak for 6 minutes between song 1 and song 2. And this is how they plan everything out. And then you have your musical worship leaders, those who lead with intuition and sensitivity and in the moment flow. Someone would say they lack structure. And I come to find out that the most effective worship leaders are the ones who try to move themselves. They first recognize where they are. Am I methodical or am I musical? And they try to inch themselves to the center of the spectrum. So someone who is musical ought to look at somebody who is methodical and see what they can learn from them, and vice versa. If you're methodical, you should look at someone who's musical and see what you can learn from them, because it has value. If you're too methodical, then I know what you're going to do before you do it. I know when you take the mic, I know exactly where what your run is going to be. I know exactly where it's going to land. I know when you're going to go to the top. You're predictable. And a predictable worship is a hard one to follow because you get caught in monotony. You get caught up in you get bored. Plain and simple. The musical one, the one who's all musical, that person also is not quite as effective because that person, they flip from song to song and they want to do their runs and their vocal acrobatics and they want to show what they can do. And you miss people that way. The congregation is not following you. The pastor is not following you. And your team is having a hard time following you because nobody knows where you're going to go and what you're going to do. You don't even stay in a moment long enough for everyone around you to grasp what's happening. You just move to the next. Effective worship leading is this. You, worship leader, you should be able to put your mic down and the house, the congregation, should be able to carry your song. As a matter of fact, when I'm leading worship, a lot of times I'll stop singing because it's not about me. It has nothing to do with my ability. I stop singing so that I can hear the sound of the house. I can hear the congregation singing the song back to me. That is my caliber of have I led people into worship. As they're singing to me, I'm listening. And when I'm listening, I'm not just listening for them to sing the words of the song I'm listening to. Who's crying? Brother so and so, his arms are like this. What is that? Why are his arms like this? Is he not enjoying? Does he do that every week? Is that his mode of worship? Because, the expression is different for everyone. For one, I believe that the Holy Spirit gives me the ability to feel the pain in the room. And I know it sounds crazy, but I believe that the Holy Spirit has given me the gift of feeling the emotion in the room, feeling the pain in the room. Or maybe it's not pain. I feel lots of different emotions, but feeling the overall emotion of the room. Holy Spirit has gifted me with that. I listen for that. And I think that that's a good takeaway for worship leaders. Listen to what's happening in the house. Stop singing. Cut the band out. Just stop and hear what's happening. Hear God in the place.